everybody. Welcome back to ParaMystic Podcast. I'm your host, Kristina Bloom. Welcome. Thank you for joining us once again on a Wednesday morning. I very much appreciate that. I just wanted to say again, thank you to everyone who has contributed to the GoFundMe to help me deal with this leukemia and the treatments. That GoFundMe is still open. It's going to remain open for a while. We got a lot covered, but there's still quite a few medical bills that still need to be covered. So I'm just putting that back out there again. And it's been a roller coaster, but we're getting there. We're making some progress. So I just want to thank you all again very much for stepping up and doing that. I so much appreciate you. You have no idea how much. I'm not going to hold off any longer on bringing forth our guest, Mr. Pete Orbea. We were both show hosts on WLTK-DB a few years ago, and that is where I met him. He's from Port Gamble, Washington. He's got a lot of interesting stuff to say. So here he is, Paranormal Pete.
Hey, well, thanks for having me on, Kristina, and it's been a long time. Looking forward to catching up here.
Yeah, it has. It's been like 3 years or something. It's been a long time. So what have you been up to for the last few years?
Well, still running the town of Port Gamble. I'm still doing ghost walks. And last summer, I started on Sacred Spiral Network and brought my Paranormal Pete show back. So I'm doing that once a month. So that's another thing I'm up to. It's
awesome.
Wednesday nights in the middle of the month. And in fact, I have a show this evening on July 15th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I'm still playing music, playing a band called Steady Rock Cosmonaut.
Love it.
And we're playing a gig this weekend. And so doing music and trying to keep up with my 2 kids and my lovely wife, Molly. So, yeah.
So you don't really sleep then, is what you're telling me.
Not very much. I figure I will someday, and it'll be the eternal one. But, for now, I just got to keep going.
Yep. There you go. You just got to keep it going. So tell us about the ghost walk. How does that work?
Yeah, it's I just did one last weekend. So the Port Gamble Ghost Walks it sounds like a long time. It's a 3-hour tour, but it goes by pretty quick. And I'm starting this fall will be my 15th season of doing the tours. And I still enjoy doing it, even after all these years. And there's always new stuff to talk about and new experiences. But basically, I take people through the town's history and kind of how that weaves into the paranormal activity that's known to be here. So we go through the historic museum, and kind of there's a few exhibits in there where paranormal activity has happened, or I could say unexplained activity, but we think it's paranormal. I'll tell you a couple things just for fun. In the museum, we have an exhibit of what looks like the inside of a ship, like a captain's quarters, and there's a chair in there and a print of somebody sitting down in the chair, and the chair has been left in the dust, and there are no footprints or anywhere around the chair, and the only way to get into this exhibit is to step over a railing. So something sat in this chair and left a pretty defined seat mark from their pants in it.
You can say butt print. It's okay.
Okay. Well, there's a butt print in the chair. Yeah. But you can tell the chair hasn't moved. There's no footprints anywhere around the chair. So how did that get there? And it's still pretty defined. And when we first saw it, it was in 2019, and I haven't let anybody dust in this exhibit since then. And it's like somebody's still sitting there because it's kind of clean still. No new dust is settling on that, even after all these years. So that's kind of a interesting thing to see.
That is interesting.
Unless, someone's real creative and can run and jump over the railing and land perfectly in the chair without moving it. and get out of the exhibit without putting their feet down. So that's a fun one. But we go through the museum and go to the post office / theater building, and then we go, of course, up to the town cemetery, which for the West Coast is pretty old. It's 1856.
Okay.
And then we kind of go around the main commercial area of the town where all the shops are, and there's stories from pretty much every space there. Quite a few stories, and then we end up in the famous Walker Ames house, which is on my shirt for those watching.
Okay.
That's what it looks like.
Cool.
So we get to spend about an hour or so in there, and then I play a bunch of audio evidence captured over the years, and I have some photographs, and then I cut everybody loose into the dark.
Nice. I've scared the pants off you. Now go.
Yeah.
Do you ever run like new EVPs or anything like that while you're doing the ghost walk? Okay.
Yeah. And actually, cool. I need to compile a bunch of new ones and add those in. But yeah, I'll play new stuff that I've captured or people have captured and said I can share it. So yeah, there's always stuff to talk about. This past October on one of the tours, we think we saw an apparition of a man, and it's rare to see something like that, but I had the group with me, and we were walking down from the cemetery hill, and basically facing where our town weddings office is. It's a little duplex building, but there was a gentleman walking along the side of the building in the dark, and you never see anybody walking on that side of the building, and so I thought, maybe somebody's casing the place. And we got a little bit closer, and I asked the people that were right next to me, and I said, is that a guy down there? And there's a guy down there. And he was walking with kind of a weird limp, and he's dressed all in blue, really tall, really big. And he was there was a grove of trees between us and the building, and so he was on the inner part of the trees, and so he would go behind a tree and we couldn't see him, and then he kept walking, and he would appear, go behind another tree, and then appear as he's walking. And so I finally said, "Hey, who's down there? Shine my light down there." And he never came past the last tree. And so I thought, oh, he turned around and went back. Well, you can take 2 steps and see the front and the back of the building, and there was nobody there. He was totally gone. And I think about 6 of us on the tour saw him, and then, he apparently disappeared. It had freshly rained also, and there were no footprints in the grass in the rain.
Oh, wow.
Anywhere down there. And he just disappeared behind a tree. I mean, there was nobody down there. So, so we tend to have, experiences on the tour. It's rare to see something, but you more often hear things. And I've had numerous tours over the years when we're in the Walker Ames house, something happens, and then everyone's like, "We're done, we're leaving, tour's over." So it happens.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. The other thing that I saw on your page is a Paracon.
Yeah.
When is that?
Port Gamble Ghost Conference.
Right.
Yes. Thank you. So that's coming up in November. It's usually like the first full weekend in November. So it's the 6th through the 8th this year, November 6th through the 8th. And you can find it at portgamble.com or at my website, portgambleparanormal.com. And this will be our 17th annual Ghost Conference. So I think it's the oldest one on the West Coast at 17. So,
that's cool. Is that a pretty big conference, or do you have people coming from all over the place? Or
yeah, we've had people from Canada and Europe come out for it, all over the US. We have, it's all old buildings, mostly all old buildings here, and so we have a certain size of buildings, and we fill it. So typically there's up to 300 people for the weekend that are there, and they're into the paranormal, into cryptids and UFOs and ETs. And
Awesome.
so this, yeah, if I had bigger venues, I'm sure it would, I get more people. We just kind of hit our capacity, which is cool. It
Yeah.
kind of keeps it cozy, I guess, intimate. You feel like, you're right there with the speakers talking with them, and there's a lot of great classes. So I think I'm up to 17 speakers this year.
Wow. In how many
And
days?
3.
In 3 days. Okay.
Yeah, and then we've got about 15 classes, and then a bunch of vendors, and we kind of take over the town. It's a town event. It was started by the town, and so it's part of our company town events. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I see a different side of it. I don't get to really fully enjoy like an attendee would,
Right.
because I'm running around, making sure everything's running smoothly. But it's really fun. I've met so many great people through it, and when I started working for the town and doing the conference, it really kind of set me up in my paranormal journey. I met, I think, the right people at the right time. And I think that's, I quickly learned what conferences can do for people, and being able to go to a place and talk about, shared, like experiences,
Mhm.
shared experiences, and to not have to say, well, you're going to think I'm crazy, but, you're not having to say that first. And so, yeah, it'll be our 17th annual, and we're looking to keep going, and always trying to tweak it every year, and, just to try and make the experience the best it can be. And it's suited for people who just have an interest in the paranormal, or, hey, that sounds cool, up to seasoned investigators and mediums, and who've been doing it for a long time. So it's kind of, there's something for everybody, but it really does bring the community together, and that's one of the coolest things.
That is cool. I love the whole community part of it. I went to a 2-day event this past weekend in DeKalb, Illinois, and it was really great to meet new people because I hadn't been to DeKalb before, but also run into other people that I know pretty well and get to
Yeah.
see only at events, so it's really
Yeah.
nice to run into those people. Are you still doing the Seaside, Oregon event? Do they still
Yeah.
do that one?
Yes. Yeah. They're right behind us. I think they're at 15 years, I think 14 or 15.
Okay.
But yeah, that one's usually last week of March. And so I think it's the 27th through the 29th this next year. Love doing that one. Same, very similar feel.
Mhm.
A lot of us travel back and forth between the Port Gamble and the Oregon Ghost Conference, but it's kind of cool because there's always new people and coming in, and so you get to kind of share the community with them. And Seaside's just a fun place. We usually make a family vacation out of it.
I love Seaside. It's definitely one of my favorite places.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really fun. And last year we had some decent weather, so I don't know if any of your listeners are familiar with the Oregon coast, but it's cold and rainy for half the year, but we actually got some good weather. And I'm just happy to be able to go there every year, and I help out with tours of Seaside. And I do a particular tour there, the downtown area, and to share ghost stories that they have down there. And we're making our own also. We've had weird stuff happen on that tour also.
Okay.
And so we're kind of making our own stories as the more we do it. So
Yeah,
yeah, love
it's
that one.
such a beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
Really is. One of the places that I never got to when the whole 5 years I lived out there in the Seattle area was Port Gamble. I don't know why, but I never got there.
Well, it's small, and you blink and you're through it.
Yeah.
It's that, uh, just so everyone can understand kind of where it's at. It's in the Puget Sound area, and we're right next to the Hood Canal Bridge that goes to the Olympic Peninsula.
Okay.
And so we're kind of one of the last stops if someone's coming from North Seattle and they're coming over to the Olympic Peninsula, they'll drive through Port Gamble. And so we're kind of a gateway there to the Olympic Peninsula, and we're about 35-40 minutes south of Port Townsend. So a lot of people are familiar with Port Townsend.
I've been there.
Yeah, one of Washington's oldest towns as well. And very haunted town, a lot of cool places, really great Victorian architecture. And so we're about 35-40 minutes south of there. So right next to the Olympic Peninsula, we're right on the Hood Canal. So it's pretty cool. And Gamble Bay.
Then I must have driven through it because I've been to those places.
Yeah, you probably drove through it.
I must have blinked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you are also a psychic medium, yes?
I mean, that's what the universe tells me. Yeah, I've been doing mediumship for, I think, a little over 12 years now.
Okay.
Professionally. And I never thought I would be. Growing up until my 30s, I thought it was kind of BS, to be honest with you. Pretty skeptical of it. Definitely in the paranormal, I was, all about, capturing data and hard evidence of things. And then my good friend Karen Fraser said once, "Oh, the universal 2x4 hit you in the head." Then things changed for me. And so, I've been doing that for the past 12 years. And as you know, it's a blessing and a curse. All in the same one.
All in the same time. Yeah. So do you take clients, or how does that work for you?
Yeah. I don't do a lot of promoting for it because I'm just so busy as a human. So I don't promote it too much. And so people just, they can find my website and they book a reading, or, they meet me on the ghost walk or at a special and public investigation, or they meet me at a ghost conference, or for my show. And so they'll book a reading with me. And I've, without promoting really, that much at all, it's really a cyclical thing. Like all of a sudden I'll have like tons of people wanting readings, and then I'll go like a month or, to 2 months, like nothing.
Right.
And then all of a sudden poof, something happens and everyone wants a reading all of a sudden. So I try to help out as much as I can, and with my busy schedule. But people usually just email me to book a reading.
Cool. I will get your email and put it up in the comments so that people can figure out where to find you.
Sure. Yeah, or just go to portgambleparanormal.com. That works too.
Okay, that works too.
There's all kinds of buttons to click.
Excellent. Yeah. We all like the buttons.
Yeah, we do.
So let's talk about investigating.
Okay.
So when you're investigating, do you have like a favorite tool that you use, or how do you do that? Are you into the electronics and the recording? So tell us about that.
I try and use I try to not use a whole lot of tools. I try and keep fairly simple. It depends on what the activity is. If it's, the Walker Ames house, for example, is very audio heavy. You get a lot of audio there, a ton of audio, not a lot of visual. So, I digital audio recorder or two. I like millimeter. I like the tri-field meter. And I've got, I'll throw a REM pod out. Just kind of depends on what the activity is, but those are like my basic ones. And of course, using myself, going through a location. And if I can swing it in the dark, I'll try and take notes, or I'll just take vocal notes on an audio recorder. But I try and keep it simple. I do have a full spectrum camera, but if where I'm investigating has a lot of visual reports, then I'll bring that and use that. Try and take a lot of photos and just see, or some video, and see if I can capture anything that way. But I like audio mostly. That's what I'm drawn to. And so I like to just take audio, some EMF, note what's happening. I'll use dowsing rods a lot on investigations. I like those. Those really do my set that I have. They seem to guide me to where I need to go. And so I really like using those too. But, for the most part, I guess I try and keep it somewhat simple. For those who investigate, the less equipment you use, the less data you have to go through if you don't have a lot of time. So,
well, and that's the other part, is making the time afterward to go through all the data and, look for everything and listen to everything. And I don't know about you, but every time I get something on an EVP, I go back and listen to it, and then I isolate it and I try to make it more clear. And that eats up a lot of time.
It does. When I first started into investigating and research, someone had told me, well, for every hour you record, that's 2 hours of review for audio.
Only two?
Only two? I guess. I thought it took a long time, but it really takes a long time to get through audio. I think video's a lot more easy because to review, you can watch it at double speed, if it's like a static camera. And so my eyes just get tired after a while. And so I guess it's being a musician or something, like I've always been drawn to audio more than anything. So,
well, that makes sense.
Yeah. And keep it simple, So that's kind of, I try and not overcomplicate things. It's already complicated enough trying to figure out what's going bump in the night. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about video and still shots. Where do you stand on orbs?
That's a great question. I think every investigator should have something to say on that. I will say I've seen footage and images people have sent me that have been very interesting, to where I couldn't really, going through the normal steps of when you see an orb photo or video of, okay, is it a bug? Is it a piece of hair? Is it a spider web?
Is it
moisture?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, is the light transparent, or does it seem to have a solid point of reflection? Is it, if I have access or can see what camera it was taken from, look at the color of the lens. Does the orb match the color of the lens that the photo or video was taken on? When you go through all those steps, and, I saw a video once. So I guess to answer your question easily is, I seem to claim, environmental something 99% of the time.
Okay.
That it's something environmental. But there's that 1%. Like I saw a video where this, transparent, translucent, whatever, transparent, ball of light goes in front of this camera and goes through a window. You can see the window, and it goes through the window. It just keeps going. And no cars, or nothing around, no headlights or anything like that. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I don't know, I'm not saying orbs aren't paranormal and they aren't, the spirit of somebody, or a piece of the light, or a piece of the soul. I think that's definitely out there, and we do see that. But I think for the most part, on like Ring cameras, interior, home security cameras, most of the time it's something environmental. I did an investigation at this place, and the claimant had all these videos of orbs, and it clearly it was dust to me. Like I was pretty sure. And she said, well, this one I took last night, and showed me and the rest of the team. I took this just last night. I even vacuumed my house yesterday. And we were like, well, when you vacuum your house, you kick up a ton of dust.
You do, yeah.
And it hangs around for a couple days. So most of the time it's those I think we run into. But occasionally, you get weird stuff in our museum. We had a video motion trigger in our museum, and I cannot explain this video, and it has got about 100 orbs in it.
Wow.
And they're not doing the classic things that an environmental pollutant is doing. They were moving, and they would go completely black and then light up again, completely black, light up again. They were clear when they were illuminated. They were moving in random directions, so it wasn't like dust and there's a draft, everything's moving kind of the similar direction. They were moving. It appeared some of them were really close to the camera, and some of them were really far away from the camera. And so you could almost see the depth and the perspective of these things, and we just can't explain it. It did not, zooming in on them. I mean, I looked at this footage a lot, and there's no wings, there's no legs, no hard points of reflection. So that it didn't appear to be something physically in the space that the IR is bouncing off of, a reflection. And so, yeah, I mean, sorry, mediums take a long time to answer questions, but
I'm a medium too. I get it. I take a long time to answer questions as well.
Yeah. So I think there's real stuff, but I tend to think that like 90+% of what people think they've got is something environmental and can be explained.
What's the most incredible piece of evidence that you have captured in any format?
That I've captured, probably the audio disembodied voices of a spirit that was answering our questions. Every other time I've seen something, of course, I didn't have a camera in the space or wasn't recording with my phone or something.
Story of my life. Story of my life.
Yeah, I know. I had an apparition appear right behind me on a tour. Turned around. She cast a shadow in from my flashlight on the wall. She disappeared as soon as we all saw her and gasped. We all went and gasped, and then she was gone. Of course, we didn't capture that, but probably like my most favorite evidence I've captured is audio, and it was in the Walker Ames house, and this young girl was answering us, and the voice seemed to emanate from about 2 feet in front of me from where I was standing. So it was like she was standing right in front of me. Couldn't see her. And, we were saying things like, hey, we heard you downstairs, tell us who you are, that sort of thing. Who are you? And she just answered, a lady. And we all heard it. Everybody heard it. It was live when it, definitely a disembodied voice, not an EVP. And then, okay, well, can you tell us the lady's name? What's your name? And a few seconds go by, and then she says, Annabelle. And just plain as day on the audio, you can hear the reverb in the space. It's like she's standing in there talking to us. that's probably that I've captured. Probably my favorite was that, and it was a really crazy experience, just because every time she spoke, there was like energy blast through the hallway. It was like we all
Okay.
felt, the hit when you get energy, you get that
Mhm.
hit.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when she spoke, it was like everybody got that, and it was like she broke through and said something. So that was pretty cool. I also have a piece of audio where I was asking a question. We did have a ghost box going. That's probably something else that I'll use regularly is a ghost box as well.
Okay.
But I asked a question, and the answer was yes, Pete, right back to me.
Nice.
That was cool. Um, so yeah, my favorite stuff that I've captured is audio, because that's mostly what I take is audio. Um, but yeah, of course, like I said, you're never recording at the right time when something big happens.
You are absolutely correct about that. Yeah.
That's on purpose too, I think.
Yeah.
I think the spirits know, oh yeah, they're not recording me. I'm going to scare the hell out of them, and then they won't be able to show it.
No one's going to believe this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's on purpose somewhat.
I think it is too somewhat. Yeah, I agree with you. Do you ever investigate anywhere other than Port Gamble and
Yeah.
Seaside? Okay,
Yeah, I do.
other
I
areas
don't
you
get
like?
to I don't get to go out as much as I'd like to, because I'm always here in Port
Mhm,
Campbell. Somebody's got to run the town. Um, but so I like to go to Port Townsend, do stuff there. I've done private home stuff. That's always really interesting to me, because you're getting to help somebody,
mhm.
and hopefully give them some answers. But yeah, I mean, I have a whole mile long, I want to go all over the place. And the good thing is because I'm so busy and I'm stuck here, someday when I get to go cross country and go to all these great places, I know some stuff about them, but I don't know much.
Yeah,
And I want to go in and psychic investigate and get activity going. I feel like I have gotten a knack over the years for eliciting activity to happen, or at least people to come forward and try and communicate. And so I do get out occasionally to go other places, but summertime definitely not, because I'm just so busy with the town. And then fall hits, and then it's ghost tour season, and I'm always
right.
here. So I have
'Cause
limited windows when I can get out and go do stuff.
right, well, when you have 5 jobs, or what are you supposed to do, right?
Yeah, clone myself.
Clone yourself, absolutely.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
actually would be dangerous. I don't know about that.
I have to say there are still days I miss the Pacific Northwest. The energy there is very unique, and,
It is.
yeah.
Yeah, isn't it something?
Mhm,
It's definitely a different feel. I mean, uh, here in Port Gamble, I live here too, and in one of the old houses. And yeah, I totally agree with you. There is something, especially here in town, like when you pull into town, it feels different.
mhm.
Um, it just feels like a huge weight comes off of you, and
Okay.
there's just a different feel here. Maybe it's because um it's time slower here. I guess maybe that's what it is. But yeah, no, I would agree with that. I've been all over the country. It's been a long time since I've been across the country, but there definitely is a different feel up here. What do you think that is?
Well, I think part of it is just the landscape, because you've got the mountains, you've got the oceans, you've got the, uh, flatlands in between. I don't know what you call those, where the sand and all of that in between. But I
Yeah,
also think that it has a lot to do with the native energy there.
I would agree with that. Yeah. There's all sorts of tidal energy.
Mhm,
There's you know, I, I think it's true in the region. There's a lot of quartz in the bedrock,
mhm.
which that, could have I think help energy stick around and be prevalent.
Right.
So I think geology too is part of it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a beautiful place. Holy
Oh,
smokes.
without a doubt. Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I've traveled all over the country too. And this piece of land we have between the two oceans is so varied and so
Yeah.
much beauty. It's incredible.
Yeah.
There's beauty everywhere. I have to
Yeah.
say my least favorite is probably deserts. I'm not a big fan of deserts.
Yeah. I grew up in Boise, Idaho, which is high desert, and,
Okay.
lots of sagebrush, and spent my summers in Sedona, Arizona growing up. And for somebody with my skin complexion, that probably wasn't smart, but um, spent a lot of time down in Arizona too, and got used to it.
Yeah.
The dry heat's definitely, I think, a little more bearable than the wet heat that you get up here and like down south and
And in
on
the
the East
Midwest,
Coast.
we get wet
You
heat
get real
here too.
humid too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the worst.
Yeah. I know when I was shortly after I moved out there, my husband at the time was telling me, "Oh, this is such a humid day." And I'm like, "I just came from the Mississippi River Valley. This is not humid."
That's nothing.
This is nothing.
Oh
This is
yeah, isn't that great?
breathable. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's incredible. What else would you like us to know about you, Mr. Pete?
Oh, I don't know. I'm weird. I'm normal. I'm everything in between. No, I don't know. Lifelong musician. Been playing, music since I was a kid, and so that's always been a big part of my life. And I think also a part of my connectiveness with the other side.
Mhm.
I think that's kind of always been there. You know, when you think about, well, I just think there's a deep connection with music and spirit and us as humans on a deeper level than just skin and physical. I think,
Oh, yeah.
so I've been kind of, over the years, I keep, reiterating in my mind occasionally something will happen and I'll be like, well, that's music talking right there. That's, uh, you know, it seems like there's not a moment that goes by when I'm not talking or listening to somebody that I don't have music running through my head, and or a drum beat or something. But I mean, what do you think? Have you noticed a real connection with music and spirit?
I have noticed that there are a lot of people in the paranormal who are musicians.
Right? That's exactly what I'm getting at.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of
And
them.
yeah, and it's like, well, okay, obviously music is a sound wave and that's energy. And maybe if
Right.
you're tuned in with that energy, it's easier for to tune into other energies, something like that. But I
Yeah.
really think, yeah, isn't it weird that there's,
It's all frequency, right? So if you can tune
yeah,
into frequencies, you tune into frequencies.
yeah,
That's
like
yeah.
everybody I know who's, uh, it really into the paranormal or does mediumship, they either play music or they are very much into listening to music. Like they're
Mhm.
more so than the average person. Um, so yeah, I mean, I've always found that is a really interesting thing to think about. And like, maybe how could we use music to, I mean, that's the point of music, I guess, is to bring everybody together and to help you
Right.
feel better and, all that kind of stuff.
Music
So
is even used getting people with dementia to communicate because you play music from their era
it takes them back.
and they just
Exactly.
come to life again. Yeah.
Yeah. I've recently told my wife, I said, if I ever get, dementia or I can't remember anything, play me my favorite music. And I think that'll bring me back. And,
Hmm.
enough to at least live in a memory and or relive a memory. And I think music, yeah, it's so healing. And um,
Absolutely.
it's healing. It can be freeing. If you need to vent and just let it out, it can, do that for you. But
Hmm.
I think it really does make you connected to the other side a lot easier. And, um, or just, I've read things, in the past about playing music and scientifically, what does it do to your body? And,
Hmm.
one thing that I read that I thought was, kind of what stuck out was playing music. Your right and left brain works a little differently together. It communicates a little differently.
Yes.
There's different connections for playing music, and I think those are probably some of the same connections you need to tune in to spirit.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You think about the chanting. I'm a drum maker. I make Native American drums and I play
Oh,
them.
then, yeah.
And yeah, it's nothing brings me into a trance faster than playing a drum. It,
It
you know.
it seriously does something. And yeah, you mentioned, like, the Gregorian monks,
Hmm.
um, Tibetan monks chanting, and it's a thing. If they've been doing it for thousands of years, it's a
Yeah.
thing.
Yes. And even the yogis with the om,
Yeah,
all of that. It's all that vibration brings
yeah,
in spirit and
yeah,
raises our spirit. So it's pretty cool.
yeah. Occasionally, if I'm going to be doing a gallery reading or something, or like a group reading for people, I'll do. Um, I think it's a Tibetan chant. I'll do kind of these long tones just to kind of relax myself, but also the vibrations and the pineal gland, and it all kind of works together.
Hmm.
And so it does work, because when I'm extra nervous about like a big reading or something, I'll do that. Because I don't know about you, I get nervous before, especially before a gallery reading. Um,
Yeah, I do too.
pins and needles, and then you got to get going. And once you get your first connection with something, then you're off and running. But I always seem to do that when I'm nervous. I'll do the long tones. It's basically 2 syllables. I'll say toe
Hmm.
6 times, as long as I can, as low as I can, and then the syllable may, and do that 6 times, may. And that it works.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know
I
how, but it
actually
does.
saw a video today with, a memory expert who's was saying that I don't remember where they did. I really wish I could remember all the details, but there are several universities where they have tested tones and humming, and people who hum reduced their risk of getting Alzheimer's and other dementias by, like, 56% or something.
That's a big number.
That's a big number. Yeah, absolutely
Huh.
is. Yeah. Excuse me.
That's cool.
Allergy season, my nose will not stop running.
I'm right there with you. Yep.
Wow, so music, paranormal, all that
Yep.
fun stuff, and you have a beautiful family. I love looking at your pictures there
Oh, thank you.
and
They
your fun adventures
they keep me out of trouble.
because you don't have time to get in trouble.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's definitely, sometimes I feel like I'm too busy, but at the same time, it's living.
yeah.
And it's better than being bored.
Yeah, I my brain is too active to be bored. I
Yeah.
literally, even if I sit and do nothing all day, look like I'm doing nothing, my brain is definitely doing something. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've
I
never
think most
understood boredom.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, growing up, did you have like a pretty in-depth imagination growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I grew up an only child,
Mhm.
and so I was by myself a lot,
Okay.
and but was never bored. I was always humming or singing, or music in my head, or playing baseball, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I think Um, I think, maybe it was a sign of things to come in my life, because I look back on my life now, or after my universal 2x4,
Yeah.
looking back, it was like, oh, maybe that wasn't just imagination. Maybe that was other things, and I just didn't realize
Yeah. Well,
or
I'm
or
sure.
understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I had no idea about it. And then looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this time when just all of a sudden felt horrible and emotions like crazy, and I didn't know why, and I kept seeing all these different people in my mind, and I don't know them. How am I seeing them? Or what? I'm getting names.
Mhm.
Like, am I just imagining all this? Nope.
Nope. Not imagining it. Didn't
Yeah.
know what to do with it, I'm sure, but not
Oh
imagining
yeah.
it.
I just thought it was imagination for sure. And, um, just chalked it up to me being weird, I guess. I guess. But,
I don't know. I think I'd much rather be weird than what's considered to be normal. So
right.
it's way more interesting.
Well, I wish people would follow their interests more, their weirdness more.
Right.
But most people don't, or they don't want to, in the paranormal, you hear this all the time. I said it before, like, well, you're going to think I'm crazy. Like a lot of people experience things, but they don't say it. And
Hmm.
I wish people would say it more, and that there could be more conversation about the weird things, and the things that don't make sense to somebody make sense to somebody else. And I wish people would share that more. I hear about people, well, I've never told this to anybody, or I've never really talked about this because I think everyone will think I'm crazy. And it's like, imagine if everybody could share those sort of things a little bit more.
Yeah.
Sure, the world would be a little weirder, but there would be more conversation. There'd be more opening of minds. And
I am
um,
seeing some of that happening, though. I don't know if you are, but I'm seeing some of
yeah,
that happening where people are opening up more and talking more. And just go to Spotify and look up Ghost, and you'll see how many podcasts
yeah.
about the paranormal and whatever.
Yeah.
So,
No, you're
yeah.
you're totally right, and I have kind of seen it too. It seems like there is a major awakening going on, right?
Oh, yeah.
Um what are your thoughts on that? Cuz like I think humans, we kind of go through cycles of that. But I mean, are you seeing a kind of an awakening going on?
I'm seeing a huge awakening going on
What do you
worldwide.
Yeah, what do you
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out what is the cause of it. I mean, I think a silly answer is, all the TV shows. Like you said, all the podcasts, all the TV shows have made it a lot more socially acceptable. And so maybe if it's more socially acceptable, people they just open up through watching the shows, and then
Yeah.
it makes it more, it's not like such a stigma like it.
Makes it more accessible for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
early, or like, the 30s and 40s and 50s, and go back before the spiritualist movement in the late 1800s, very taboo, you know,
Hmm.
to think about the paranormal and spirits, but it's kind of coming around again. And I think there's this awakening,
Well, I
you
think
know.
this one is bigger. And, with the whole disclosure with ETs and all
Yeah.
of that coming up. And, a lot of us have already been aware that there are ETs, because my take, since I was a little kid, and it got me in so much trouble in church, but I said it anyway. Why would any God make all these planets and put life on one of them? Does this make sense to anybody? It doesn't make sense to me. It never made sense to me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, but I feel like that coming to the foreground, and it's kind of the chicken and egg thing, right? Is the TV shows and the podcasts and the documentaries, is that what's causing it, or is that an effect of it?
Yeah. Oh, that's
you know?
a good thought.
It's
You're exact. I think you're right on there. Yeah, I see an awakening. What do you think? Let's say it continues and overall, like the vast majority of people are kind of awakened or have open minds. What do you hope happens?
well, the last, I don't know how long, it's been a while, 10 years, maybe more, where light keeps getting shown in the dark. And it's been a lot more prevalent even in the last few years. All this crap that was happening forever now has a spotlight on it. And you can look at that one of two ways. Either the world is getting worse or we're finally seeing things we didn't see before. Right. So you can look at those things because darkness can't exist in the light. So we're shining a spotlight and all of this stuff is coming out. I feel like that's a cleansing. I feel like that's a cleansing for humanity, an energy cleansing. Yeah. I feel like, the Schumann resonance, I don't know if you follow that, but it is the heartbeat of Mother Earth and it's all over the place, especially the last couple of years. And then the sun is throwing off more radiation than it ever has. We've been getting hit with one massive corona after another from the sun for, I don't know, years.
Yeah.
But again, it's intensified in the last year. And so there's this whole coming together. I think this is probably the biggest awakening that humanity has ever had. And I think that the internet has something to do with us knowing about it because we can now communicate anywhere on the planet as long as there's an internet connection.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe in the past, if there was like a large awakening, like people weren't aware of it then because everybody was so isolated, or it took 6 months to go from here to there and tell somebody about it.
Right. Exactly.
That's a neat way to look at it. I think the sun's radiation, the Earth's heartbeat, that's all part of it. And I think that's really interesting. The internet part of it, and thinking now we're aware of it now because of that. And I hadn't really thought of it in that way. So that's kind of interesting. Well, if there is a major awakening going on and people are going to start seeing what we haven't seen before or see the other side of things that we haven't seen before, God help us. Because humans are weird. And
for sure. There is no doubt about that.
Hopefully it's for good.
I think it is. I feel like it is. I feel like there's some hope in things are crashing left and right. Systems are crashing left and right. Financial systems, real estate systems, education, healthcare.
Sure.
Crashes left and right. Well, you can't build something new on top of a broken thing. You have to knock it down first. Yeah. And I think we are still in the knock it down phase, but we are starting to do some rebuilding.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hopeful too. I've kind of always, try and be optimistic, or I just am optimistic about that sort of thing. But then I go, then you go on the internet and you see fail videos and you're like, oh, we're doomed.
Well, I do think that natural selection does take over at some point.
Yeah, more so for the animal kingdom, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think. But well, with the, it just made me think of Bigfoot. There seems to be, whether they're legitimate or not, more and more Bigfoot experiences, reports. Of course, everybody's got a phone in their pocket now, so they've got a video camera in their pocket. Although if you're like me and you're having an experience and you're too freaked out to take your phone out and record, that's happened to me with
I'm a member of that club as well.
With the Bigfoot. So,
with all of it.
Yeah, but it makes you wonder, like, are we starting to see them more?
Yeah.
with an awakening? Are we starting to see their plane a little bit more? Maybe is that why, plus we're encroaching on their habitat, of course.
Hmm.
We all, quick access to something to record with, but maybe it's a part of everything, seeing more than we did
Yeah.
before. I wonder if that, I think you could tie that in with UAPs, ETs, that, there seems to be more reported experiences because it's more socially acceptable now. The
Hmm.
recording thing, we're everywhere.
Yes.
And so maybe that all ties in, and maybe things will get, uh, I don't know if somebody will ever walk up and talk to a Bigfoot and record it, and have a conversation with one of
That would be
them.
pretty
But
cool, wouldn't it? I've channeled Bigfoot.
what was that like?
Well, it's interesting because I've channeled 4 different ones now. So,
Okay.
I channeled a female who is a healer, and she did a healing on one of my students through me.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was intense. That
Is
was the
it,
most intense channeling I've ever done.
did they feel like, did it feel like a human ghost, I guess?
No,
It felt
no.
different, so that you could
It
feel a
felt
difference in.
it's a higher vibration. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a higher frequency. Um, I've channeled that one female and then 3 males, and the males the female did not, like, speak in English. She was singing in light language while doing a
Okay.
healing. Um, the 3 males that have come through at different times try to use my voice, but it really sounds like I'm growling, like they're trying to use I mean, they're using my words to the best of their ability, but I don't think that they speak English, so
Yeah.
it's challenging for them. Um,
Sure.
I think that the uptake or uptick in Bigfoot communications is because they're letting us. They're allowing contact, and I feel like it's the same with ETs.
Yeah. Like, I wonder why. It makes me wonder, why are they now then contacting more? Are they trying to warn us about something?
In some
Did
cases, I think so, but I also think it's because so many more of us are awakening.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're probably trying to warn. Some are trying to warn us of our stupidity, and
Yeah, they get
but
frustrated.
I agree with you. The more, the whole awakening thing is interesting. I had a guest on my show a few years ago, and he was like, this gentleman was of the thinking we're on the 5th age of humanity.
Okay.
And it got me thinking, and I don't know what to believe, and whatever, but it got me thinking, like, um gosh, maybe, between dinosaurs and us, there's 65 million years. That's a long time. Maybe there
Yeah,
was an age of humanity 60 million years ago, and then
right.
30 million years ago. I mean, that's a long time.
That is a long time, yeah. I
And it got
agree.
me thinking, like, gosh, maybe
Maybe.
that is, we are just a new version of humanity, and it has evolved, and maybe there is some reset at some point, and then it all starts over again.
Well, look at kids today. They are already so advanced, so much more, at least than the people I knew as a kid,
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
for
The
sure. My kids in some cases know how to work electronic devices better than me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
you
My
know
5-year-old grandson can pick up any phone as long as you let him into it. He can figure out how to use it and get where he wants to go in about
yeah,
3 seconds flat.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me think of the theory that ETs, or what we think are ETs, or the Greys, are actually humans from the future.
I have heard that theory too. I'm not
And
sure how I feel about it, but I've heard that
I
theory.
know, yeah, me too. But then it's like, Well, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I've just
Yeah.
gotten to the point where I don't automatically discount anything because
Yeah.
there's just so much we don't know.
Yeah. Exactly.
This has been an amazing conversation. Thank you, Pete.
Thank
You for
you.
coming on. This has been fun. And I'll make sure that I get your URL in the comments and make sure that, we get all that done so that people can
Well, thank
contact
you.
you if
Yeah,
they want
well,
to.
hopefully people can come out. If you're in the Puget Sound area this fall, come do a ghost walk, come to the ghost conference November 6th through 8th. And if you're in Puget Sound, make a trip out to Port Gamble. You won't regret it.
Yeah, and then report back to me because I want to hear all about it.
And then you'll have to get out here sometime.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get back out there again. I've been going east more lately, so more
Yeah.
East Coast. But
well, maybe next year we can have you out for our conference.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'd love that. I'd love
Yeah.
that. So thank you again. And
Thank you.
let's get back in touch again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you. And
All right.
everyone take care.
Take care, everyone. Thank you so much.